Terry Bollea, also known as Hulk Hogan, was experiencing a serious medical-related issue. Personnel provided medical treatment at that time and transported Mr. Bollea to Morton Plant Hospital, where he died at 11:17 a.m.
Everyone all over the world knew Hulk Hogan was a strong force. He had the strength and power. But behind the lights, the cheers, and the wealthy lifestyle,
all right, we are following some breaking news now. Wrestling legend Hulk Hogan has died. His manager told NBC Los Angeles that Hogan died surrounded by his family in Clearwater, Florida this morning. He was 71 years old.
something dark was happening. His final days were nothing like the fights that fans saw in the ring. They were full of mystery, silence, and unpleasant realities that nobody had seen coming. Questions become louder as new details become available. What actually happened during those final moments, and why was there such silence? Join us in this video as we reveal the shocking truth behind Hulk Hogan's death. The shocking truth about Hulk Hogan's death. Terry Bollea, better known as wrestling legend Hulk Hogan, died at the age of 71. Fans all over the world were surprised by his death, which caused a lot of feelings, which include sadness, respect, and questions. One of the most popular wrestlers of all time, Hogan was known for his powerful voice, bold looks, and serious control on the sport. But now, as fans remember him, new details are coming out about the personal pain in his life, especially with his family. According to a police report from Clearwater, Florida, emergency services were called to Hogan's home around 9:51 a.m. They responded to a call about cardiac arrest. He was taken to a hospital but was sadly pronounced dead shortly after. TMZ was the first to report his death. Then, more details began to come out, including an emotional update from Hogan's daughter, Brooke Hogan. She revealed that their relationship had been difficult for some time. She found out about her father's death through a text message her husband received from her brother Nick. Brooke and her father had not spoken since September 2023, just weeks before he married Sky Daly. Their last call ended with her saying, "I love you," and asking him to slow down due to his poor health. He didn't want to hear that. Brooke said Hogan apologized during that final call, but she didn't share what it was about. Even though they hadn't spoken since then, she felt thankful that she had at least told him she loved him. She believed she had done all she could to support him, but he kept his distance. Sources close to the family said Brooke tried many times to reconnect with her father. Her husband reached out, especially when Brooke nearly died during childbirth. Even then, Hulk Hogan did not visit or try to meet his grandchildren. People close to the situation said Hogan only wanted a relationship when it suited him. Wrestling commentators shared their thoughts in a news video. They spoke about the emotional pain families go through, especially when relationships are broken. A speaker from a video said that, as a father, Hogan's story made him think hard about what kind of legacy a person leaves behind. Even though Hogan was a big star, he felt that the broken ties with his children were one of the saddest parts of his story. They compared Hogan's family life to that of another star, Ozzy Osbourne. Recently, photos came out showing Ozzy happily holding his grandchild. The speaker also said it made him think about how important family moments are, especially near the end of life. He also praised Brooke for handling her father's death with grace and dignity, even though it must be very hard for her in the public eye. As news of Hogan's death spread, many wrestling stars shared their thoughts. The Miz, a current WWE star, shared that as a child, Hogan was his hero and inspired him to be bold and confident. WWE quickly responded with a tribute and is expected to honor Hogan further on upcoming shows. Triple H and others have already released statements, and a special video about Hogan's career is being planned. Although Hulk Hogan had a huge impact on wrestling, his story is not simple. He had great success, but he also had struggles, especially with his family. Many fans will always remember him for the joy and excitement he brought to wrestling. But others are thinking more deeply about what it really means to leave behind a legacy. As the world continues to share memories and emotions, one thing is clear: Hulk Hogan will not be forgotten. There are already quiet rumors spreading that Hulk Hogan's death might not have been sudden at all, but rather the result of years of health issues piling up. According to those with knowledge of the matter, his death may have resulted from chronic injuries sustained during decades of wrestling, as well as from multiple major surgeries and illnesses that were not adequately treated. Rumor has it that Hogan persisted in pushing himself in spite of advice from friends and family to slow down. Many people are now asking if his heart was not able to handle the stress. However, one question remains as fans think about the funny times of wrestling's heyday. What really happened during Hulk Hogan's last days? And how will his legacy be kept? Stay tuned for more. The unforgettable legacy and final days of Hulk Hogan. The news of Hulk Hogan's death shocked and saddened wrestling fans everywhere. Over the years, he became a worldwide icon and one of the most well-known figures in professional wrestling. Beyond simply being a wrestler, Hulk Hogan played a significant role in both pop culture and wrestling history. In the 1980s, he helped bring WWE into the mainstream with his colorful personality, strong presence in the ring, and unforgettable catchphrases like, "What you gonna do when Hulkamania runs wild on you?" One of his most famous moments was when he body-slammed the Giant wrestler Andre the Giant, which is still considered a major moment in wrestling history. To add to his strength, Hogan was known for being a good boxer. His talent helped wrestling become more popular with a lot of people because he had a special skill for working a crowd. WWE called him one of the most popular and loved boxers in pop culture in a statement about his death. In his tribute, fellow professional wrestler Ric Flair referred to Hogan as a lifelong friend and praised him as a great father and a true industry legend. But Hogan's influence didn't stop at wrestling. Over the years, he became a big part of American culture. To add to making news in politics, he was seen a lot in films and TV series. When Hogan made an appearance at the Republican National Convention in 2024, he got the crowd to cheer by tearing off his shirt on stage. It was a typical Hogan moment, full of love and joy. After that, he openly showed his support for Donald Trump, although he didn't publicly back him until late in the election campaign. Despite that, he became friendly with the Trump family, and after his passing, Donald Trump Jr. tweeted out a message calling him a legend. Hogan's appearance at the convention was one of the highlights of the event, and it reminded people of how much he could still draw attention and excitement. Hogan also made headlines outside the ring with a major legal case that changed how the media handles celebrity privacy. He was the target of a massive lawsuit after Gawker Media released a private video of him without his consent. The case was fierce and garnered national attention, and it was later found that billionaire Peter Thiel, who had his own problems with Gawker, had secretly funded Hogan's lawsuit. It ended with a significant victory for Hogan, which led to Gawker filing for bankruptcy and changed the way cases of this kind are handled. It is often considered one of the most important media cases of the time, and many believe it gave public figures more power to protect their private lives. Fans also frequently discuss other noteworthy events in Hogan's life. He once joked during a late-night interview about running for president, and even though it was said in fun, it showed how big his personality was. In 2024, there were reports that Donald Trump had thought about putting Hogan on the President's Council on Physical Fitness, but it never happened. Still, it showed how well-known and respected he was by people in high places. After his death, Speaker of the House Mike Johnson hosted a tribute online, calling Hogan a giant, not just in size, but in how he lived his life and the impact he made on others. Many fans are sharing their memories of the wrestler who left such a lasting impact on the world as they continue to grieve. From the big screen to the wrestling ring, To national politics and courtrooms, Hulk Hogan's life was filled with extraordinary experiences. Fans who grew up watching him, supporting him, and believing in the spirit of Hulkamania will always carry his legacy with them. Speaking of President Donald Trump, what was his response to the unexpected passing of Hulk Hogan, a longtime friend and supporter? Let's delve deeper. Trump's tribute to Hulk Hogan sparks reflection on fame, politics, and power. The U.S. President Donald Trump's words about Hogan as a true supporter of his political goals and not just a friend online was one of the most talked about topics. Talks about Hogan's role in American culture and politics, as well as his boxing career, have been talked about because of his death. Trump posted a message on his social media platform, Truth Social, where he spoke about Hogan with warmth and admiration. In his message, Trump said, "We lost a great friend today. Hulk Hogan was MAGA all the way. Strong, tough, smart, with the biggest heart. He gave an absolutely electric speech at the RNC, one of the highlights of the entire week. His words showed how much respect and love he had for Hogan, and also reminded many people of the wrestler's strong support for the MAGA movement." Trump's reference to Hogan as the Hulkster demonstrated that he genuinely admired him, in addition to being a well-known figure. Many were taken aback when Hogan took the stage and spoke in favor of Trump at the 2024 Republican National Convention in Milwaukee. To the applauding audience, he yelled, "Brother, let Trumpomania run wild. Let Trump take over once more. Allow Trump to restore America's greatness." Like his wrestling days, his words were forceful and boisterous, and they immediately attracted national attention. People who were already excited about the event became even more energized when Hogan stepped up to speak. His style, voice, and bold energy matched the tone of the evening and brought back memories for longtime fans. Judy Kurtz, a columnist for The Hill, was there at the event and spoke about the moment during a recent broadcast. She said that when Hogan came on stage, the crowd went wild. According to her, the energy in the room completely changed. Hogan had the power to grab a crowd's attention, something that Trump is also known for. Judy pointed out that the way Hogan and Trump both use showmanship, strong words, and bold images to connect with their supporters is very similar. She said that a lot of people like new political events to professional boxing, where the primary goal is always fun, acting, and hyping the audience. Judy also talked about her own childhood experiences of seeing Hulk Hogan on TV, in ads, and in movies. She said that everyone knew who he was. She remembered his bandana, his big muscles, his blonde mustache, and his strong voice. He had become a part of everyday American life. It was hard not to like himself, she said, even if you didn't agree with his style. His fame during the 80s and 90s was so huge that people today may not understand how big he really was, especially in a time when there were fewer media channels and more shared experiences. The bond between Trump and Hogan went beyond just public support. Both men became famous around the same time and used media and stage presence to build their names. They understood how to work a crowd and make a big impression. Hogan's appearance at the RNC showed how deeply connected he was to the MAGA movement, and how much his fame could still draw attention and bring excitement to political events. For many in Trump's inner circle, Hogan was not just a wrestling hero, but also a symbol of strength, bravery, and loyalty. Along with lamenting the passing of a well-known wrestler, people are also thinking back on a time when legendary people had an impact on public life. Hogan's character, with his vigor, power, and fervor, complemented Trump's political outlook. Hogan had gone beyond friendship to become a part of something far greater than wrestling, as demonstrated by Trump's homage to him. Despite coming from the ring, his voice and style had a broad influence, and even in death, Hulk Hogan's name continues to evoke strong emotions in leaders and fans alike. What happens when a man who is well known for his strength, celebrity, and exaggerated demeanor takes a moment to talk about the one thing that really made a difference in his life? Let's find out. Hulk Hogan's faith and a testimony beyond the ring. In an uncommon and intimate moment captured on camera for an online video, boxing icon Hulk Hogan revealed his Christian beliefs in a startling and poignant way, revealing how the religion influenced the man who became the legend. Rather than focusing on fame or legacy, Hogan, who is globally recognized for his charisma and success in the wrestling ring, used the event to talk about his spiritual rebirth. He emphasized that none of his achievements came close to what he called the greatest moment of his life, being publicly baptized and committing his life to Jesus Christ. In the clip, Hogan makes it clear that although he experienced enormous fame, wealth, and worldwide attention, he felt truly fulfilled only when he committed himself to God. "I gave my life to Christ when I was 14, Hogan shared, acknowledging that he had later drifted away but eventually returned to his faith with a sense of full surrender. He said that all the success in the world meant nothing without peace in the heart, and for him, that peace only came from knowing Christ. The video demonstrated how the former wrestler's testimony could inspire others, and it was narrated by a Christian speaker who reflected on Hogan's remarks. The speaker emphasized that there could be what he called a ripple effect if someone as well-known and powerful as Hogan decided to speak out about Jesus. He said that millions of people might be inspired to reflect on their own spiritual lives and possibly take a step toward faith by Hogan's story. The speaker went on to say that in the current cultural context, Hogan's readiness to show vulnerability was crucial. He said that although famous people usually don't talk about their faith in public, Hogan didn't think twice about declaring his faith. He described Hogan as a man who had seemingly won in the eyes of the world, but recognized that true victory only came through surrendering to Christ. In the video, Hogan also made a clear distinction between his wrestling persona and his real self. "Hulk Hogan is a character," he said, noting that the world often confuses the two. He explained that when he was at home, he wasn't the loud, larger-than-life entertainer. At home, he was just Terry, just a man, a husband, a father, and a friend. However, he understood that once he stepped outside, people still expected Hulk. He would give them a glimpse of that personality, but he now saw it as something he could control, rather than something that defined him. After sharing such a powerful personal journey, how did the world respond? And what did it reveal about the impact of faith in unexpected places? Let's learn more. The man behind the character and a legacy of faith and reflection. Hogan's favorite memory from his wrestling career, not a match or a title victory, but a time spent with his father, was another significant event covered in the video. Hogan remembered his father telling him he was proud of him following a historic performance at Madison Square Garden in 1984. That simple statement, he said, carried more weight than any championship. According to Hogan, that one moment helped heal years of distance and emotional wounds between him and his dad. The speaker in the video drew attention to the fact that Hogan's story wasn't just about personal healing, it was about public testimony. He remarked that Hogan's choice to proclaim his faith and reflect publicly on the real meaning of life could guide people to think beyond material things and focus on eternity. He said that in a world full of noise, celebrity influence, and distraction, Hogan's voice carried a special weight because of the contrast between his past image and his current convictions. A call to action was also included in Hogan's reflections. He urged people to think about their own role in life and their connection to God. He openly discussed the world's brokenness, and asserted that Christ was the only path to healing. The speaker underlined this point, reiterating Hogan's assertion that faith, rather than celebrity, praise, or wealth, is the only source of true peace, identity, and purpose. As the video came to a close, the speaker addressed the audience directly, imploring them to heed Hogan's advice. He repeated Hogan's core message, that God's grace is available to everyone, no matter their past, and that the most important decision anyone can make is to turn to Jesus Christ. He called Hogan's story a public reminder that no matter how high someone may rise in the world's eyes, there is no substitute for a relationship with God. Because Hulk Hogan's testimony was genuine and grounded rather than ostentatious or dramatic, it has generated discussion on a variety of platforms. Hogan gave the world something more enduring by removing the character and the stage lights. A man who had found purpose in his faith, rather than in the arena. How do you feel about Hulk Hogan's legacy? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Thank you for watching this video. We hope you found it interesting. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Click the next video shown on your screen to catch up on your favorite celebrity stories. See you there.